show you what I'm doing here. Let's see if I can, get this. Oh, Eisenheimer. Sorry, folks. Hang on a second.
Make your browser fast. Make your browser safe. Make your browser Chrome. Choose Google Chrome for your computer.
Sorry, folks. My tripod slipped. All right. Well, let's do it this way. Let me see if I can see there. There, that works. I think that works. All right. Now let's pop out the chat. Like that. Oh, I'll put my seed lid, and then I'll put it on live chat. Hello, 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 everybody. Let's get this mouse out of the range of water. Okay. Oof. How's it going, everybody? So this is what we got going on today, and maybe I can get you guys just a little bit closer. Let's see how that goes. There, that's better. Maybe a little too close, but now here's my tray. Here is my celery plants. You can see that they're just going gangbusters. And we've got my bottle of water, my spray bottle of water. How's everybody doing today? Oh, just put your celery out last week. Well, here we're still getting snow and sleet and stuff. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to take a spoon out. Now, these haven't been watered yet today because they're going to go into, my goodness, the roots. Now, this is organic potting soil, not seed starting soil. Actually, let's just see if I can't. Every year I try something new. But if I remember correctly, I just have to lay these like this way, making sure the roots are covered. Can you guys all see what I'm doing here? Gracie, update on Gracie. She ate yesterday. She ate the day before. She has not eaten today. So it's all up to her, folks. She is on hospice. That's pretty much what's going on. Gracie's in hospice. So, okay. Like that. We're getting the biggest ones out first. And then I will put the littler ones. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have pushed that soil back in. Then the tiniest ones I'll just put back in this meat tray here. All right, so now I'm just going to very carefully water that row, just the row, because potting soil can get really sticky. Did I lose one? If I did, it'll come back, trust me. And then we just kind of push this soil and pop you up a bit. There we go. And there's the first one we planted right there. There's probably another one right here, but I know it's fussy. But I tell you, celery is one of the crops that just does so well. You know what I forgot? I forgot my tea. Oh, well. Hang on a second. Now we're going to do another row. And we're only making these rows like 1.5 inches apart. Because eventually they're going to go out in the garden, right? And then we're going to go you. Push you down like that. This is really fussy work. It really is. But I'll tell you, celery is so chock-a-block full of vitamins and I covered that and I shouldn't have. Vitamins and minerals that it's something you should have in your diet every day or almost every day. Come get your duds in order, 'cause we're bound to cross the border, heave away. All right. So yeah, tomorrow I'm probably going to be in front of the quilt frame. I might live stream from the quilt frame. I was going to do that today, but I kind of ran out of time to get it all set up. Okay. Always make sure your roots are watered. And I really don't want to squeeze this too much because it takes a while for the water to absorb. We're all bound away. Push it in, press it down. Push it in, press it down. Here we go. The babies. Gracie is not eating today. She ate and drank yesterday and the day before. She's not eating today so far. Like I said, Gracie's on hospice, okay, guys? Don't want to cover up the leaf too much, but you pretty much can bury these and they're not gonna, okay. Alrighty. Closer to the end of April, I'm going to be planting. I'm going to give my cucumbers and my zucchinis a start inside. So they'll be getting started in a couple of weeks. Oh, come on, you. There's 2 in there, but I'll let them do their thing. And there we go. Just want to make sure they're in order here. Now remember, folks, whether they're in a tray or in the garden, celery needs water, needs lots of water. Okay, let's... She's just come in from a pee and she's on the couch. Heave away. Sorry, folks. I get so absorbed in what I'm doing when it comes to planting baby plants that I forget to talk to y'all. There is a pantry pull meal coming up in the next day or so. And also I will be, like I said, live streaming from the quilt frame. I'm waiting for my sewing machine to come. I bought a new one. I thought it was a Singer. It's not. But it was $87, and that's cheaper than I can get any of mine fixed at this point. So, soon as the sewing machine comes, the iron will come first, and when that comes, I will be ironing out some of my star quilt stuff and working on them. But I will be, I have to go get my tea, but I will be starting some just very plain, simple quilt tops to use up the fabric I have rather than throw it away. You know what I mean? You get up there. So, you know what? I'm just going to have a drink of water from the jug. Do I listen to lots of music? I don't have time because my time for music is on Friday nights or Saturday nights because I'm usually working. And if I'm working in my chair and it's not a live stream, I'm usually watching, TV. Not TV, but, I like, one of my favorites is on Prime is on BritBox. It's 24 Hours in the A&E, which is their ER. The first few seasons were King's College, and now they're doing at St. George's, I guess, in England. I prefer British TV over Canadian American. To me, it's a little more realistic. We just finished watching a series, folks, on BritBox Prime, if you have it, called The Rig, and it's all about oil rigging, drilling oil and stuff in the Arctic or at the North Pole, South Pole, whatever the heck it is. But it's really good, and it gives you something to think about, for sure. Okay. I was looking at the political polls, and they're trying to tell us that the Liberals are now outstripping the Conservatives, which is absolute horse apples. There's absolutely no way. For one, I'm not going to talk politics after this, but for one, Mark Carney was selected, not elected. And he's not my prime minister. He was never elected to the position. He was selected by the Liberal Party, and they think that, and all Mark Carney's doing is mouthing off about all of the things he wants to put in place. Problem is, those are all the things that the Conservative Party's leader, Pierre Poilievre, has been talking about for years, right? But if Mark Carney gets in as Canada's Prime Minister, then I will absolutely no longer have any faith in our electoral system. I do not have much left now. Look at these celeries. I'm doing my best, folks. I'm just going to plant more garden. And here's what I think. Here's what I think. Does anybody else think that, you know, we should be, every country should start closing their borders temporarily and looking at what is best for their own country? And I'm saying that for everybody, not just US, not just Canada. We need to get back to basics about knowing what our country can produce for our country. You produce for our country first and trade the rest, the stuff that's left over. You don't trade away, you don't sell off all your wonderful natural resources and then buy cheap from another country for your own people. It's just wrong. And I think that should be taken care of first. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta go get my cup of tea. Oh. But our election is apparently on the 28th of April. The early election is on the 18th of April, which Howie and I will be doing. What I don't like, I have to put the kettle on, folks. What I don't like is how they pretend that the polls are not necessarily as accurate as they'd like you to believe. They want you to believe that the Liberals are pulling ahead, and they use that throughout the news to try and get people to cave to re-electing the Liberals. Wrong. Okay, I need a tea bag here. Oh, so I honestly think also that when you have early polls, they should not be. Only one came up. Did you keep them nice and moist? They take 10 to 12 days to come up, eh? So I've put the kettle on for my tea. So why, I don't think it's right that they allow, the early, how you get the pre-polls, you go in and you vote early in case you're leaving town or something. I honestly think that they should not tell people what the pre-polls have done. Like, according to according to the early polls, blah, 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 blah is ahead. They shouldn't be allowed to do that because it influences the election outcome. I think that's wrong, right? But they're trying to make it look like Pierre Poilievre's a dunce when he's been the one who's been, and the fact that Donald Trump said he'd rather work with the Liberals in Canada, you know why that is, right? Because the Liberals are just pushovers. They'll do whatever they'll do whatever anyone said. So we really need We really need someone, Trump said, oh, Pierre Poilievre's not made friends with me, which I think is stupid. Well, no, it doesn't mean he's not making friends. He's just, politics is not about friendship, is it? It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be about, bringing your country to its best possible stage for its people. All right, I'll shut up now. I'll shut up about politics now. Okay, so yeah, you got to keep them moist. If I were you, I would start the celery seeds on seed starting soil. Get the soil nice and wet or damp, like completely damp through, and then put a piece of shrink wrap over it. That will help. But they 10 to 12 days, up to 2 weeks it can take for celery to germinate. Well, I don't know the difference between a Democrat and a Republican or anything like that. And, some people vote one way their whole lives. I vote with whatever is going to do best for my country. Right? That just makes sense. And in my opinion, Pierre Poilievre, unless Danielle Smith of Alberta decided to step up to the plate, but if the NDP and the Bloc and the Green Party all decide with the Liberal Party, then we're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, and Howie and I will consider moving either out of this country or at least out of this province. 61 years old, and I got to think about moving out of my home because of my government. That just sucks, right? Now these look rough, but in a couple of days you'll see how they start popping up. What did I teach you, Jane? Celery takes a long time to germinate. Is that what I taught you? And I think my kettle is boiling. You get in there like that. Come get your duds in order, 'cause we're bound to cross the water, heave away. May jolly boys will all come this day. Whatever the words are. Okay. Alrighty. Water this row. Always make sure your roots have been watered. And if you see some like this little guy here, he's kind of buried, they'll come up. Don't you worry. Don't you fear. All right, I'll be right back. I got to get my tea. Morticia. What a great name. Hi, Amanda. How are you? Okay. Oh, my back. Oh, I'll be right back to get my tea. Gracie, you really should go eat your numbs, babe. Okay. on supper. Beautiful, Clark. I'm drinking Tetley today because I got to use up the box. It's not as satisfying, but all right. Oof. Hey, Kimmy girl. How's it going? All right, now another row. There we go. I am really hoping for a good show from my beans and stuff this year. I'm not planting carrots. I might plant a bed of beets just because, one bed of beets because I found out how he likes them. And also, last year they had, when I buy the carrots, well, they had beets. Before they had carrots, they had apples and beets. And I'm now wishing I had bought some because I thought Howie didn't like beets. But canning beets is... Where did that little one go? There was one there. Where'd you go? There we go. I just spent $80 on sandwich fixings and chicken nuggets. Was that a good deal? That's water in there, guys. Get you over here. Pop you down in there. Now this is piling up pretty high over here. So I'm going to start making it like that. I'm going to have to put this down on, well, I guess I could set it right there in the corner. Okie dokie artichoke. This is pretty boring stuff. But the truth is it just took me so long to learn how to grow celery that it's one of those things that I can do well. Touch wood. Touch wood. That's when you know Gracie's not feeling well when I do this. And she doesn't even bark. Come in! Nope. Nope. If I can get her to drink, that's all that matters. But she's eaten 2 days in a row and she's drank 2 days in a row, so it's pretty bad when you gotta count the days that your dog eats and drinks. Some of these little ones are coming over from the soil. Well, if they, come back, they come back. Well, I'd like to tell you what's for supper, but it's a video, so I can't. But it's a pantry pull, so... we know it's a crock pot meal. Can anybody guess what it is? Boy, Howie loved that minestrone. He's not a huge tomato fan, but I tell you what, when he came home last night, he said, something smells good. And I said, that's the minestrone soup. Come Come here, you. Just leftover roast beef, leftover cooked carrots, cut up, a diced onion, frozen one, and celery, and a jar of garden medley vegetables, which is basically tomatoes and onions and zucchini and stuff. And excuse me, and a quart of chicken broth. If I'd have had beef, I'd have done it. And a pint of my home canned kidney beans. That soup was so full of vitamins and minerals and nutrients. And you know how I knew we needed it? Because Howie said it smelled good, and he's not a huge fan of cooked tomatoes. But I don't want to eat now because supper time, I won't be hungry then. I'll be reading the fridge at midnight. I eat 2 meals a day. I eat, what's today, Tuesday? I eat supper and I eat a bowl of medicated popcorn. A bowl of medicated popcorn and some fruit at bedtime. Let's do you this way. I may have to start another tray. I thought I'd be able to get all of these in one tray, and I don't have any of the black trays. Howie forgot to bring them in, so they're out in the garden somewhere. Probably broken and cracked, and we'll see. Maybe I'll be able to rescue them in the spring for next year, but it's okay. Come on, the babies. Come on, the babies. Oh my goodness. There we go. Nope. Get up here. Get up here. There and there. Yeah, celery, it's amazing how I've done this over the years, yet people still tell me, I didn't get celery to grow. It's because they're a bit on the fussy side. But the truth is, folks, if you can get them past this point and you can remember to water them every day, then, you know, then there's no reason why. Now listen, here's something else you need to know about celery. Just because they like lots of water and you want to water them every day once they're out in the garden and once they're here, it doesn't mean that they like to be standing water. It has to be a decently drained bed. My raised beds work really well. I tried to use a felt bed once that was only like 6 inches deep, and it didn't have proper drainage, so most of that celery rotted. Okay? So you got to know, it takes a long time to germinate. 10 to 14 days before you'll see it, and they're so tiny that you may miss them, right? But you keep them moist. And then when they're in the garden, you water them every day. Again, making sure they have proper drainage. Straighten up and fly right, you. Okay, you need another one. Need another one right here. There we go. And if some from here end up in the ditches, well, that's okay too. It'll probably come and grow. If not, it'll be fine. Hey, Rodney! That's Mary, right? I can't plow directly in, garden directly into the ground anymore. So, yeah, there's probably another one in there. All right. I wish I could grow potatoes, but no matter what I do, they get eaten by bugs. And I have once tried pesticide dust, and that didn't even work. So we'll see. I left some baby parsnips in the ground last year in one of my beds. I hope that, we'll have to write this in my book that I transplanted these. Oh, I forgot what I was talking about. Might even push you over a little bit. Alrighty. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to have another tray. Come on, you. Get in there. I wonder how the people who got the celery plants off me last year, how they did. Because I told them every time someone got some celery with the tomato plants and stuff, I said, make sure you water them every day and that your beds are well drained. Go, babies. Baker Creek seeds in the mail. Oh, wow. Oh, well, good. I'm glad to hear it. Really? Briar's not a big fan of celery either. But it's really good for you. It's really good if you have a tendency towards gout. Celery seed and celery are really good for that. But Briar's not a huge fan. He won't just eat celery, but he won't pick it out of the food. He knows better than to do that in front of me. But go to babies. The babies. Come here, you. Right there. See how fussy and tiny it is? And people go, oh, I can't be bothered. Well, the truth is, it's worth the bother. Do you know what also, folks, we discovered is when I'm making, if I have full celery in the fridge, if I'm making like a roast dinner, like you know how I do it with carrots and potatoes and an onion, there are a couple of stalks of celery over that too. Holy smokes. And Howie just loves the oven roasted celery with like he does, as much as he does the onion. You know what I mean? All right, now we're going to try and get 2 more in here. Let's see. It's one of those staple vegetables, you know, that you put, oh, shoot. It's one of those staple vegetables that, you know, that goes in everything. It goes in soup, it goes in stuffing, it goes in stews, it goes in stir fries. You know what I mean? And it is so very good for you. Okay. There you go, baby. There you go. Alrighty. Yep. Go. Whoops, I broke that one. Now we're talking about the election, and I just got a text poll wanting to know who I'm voting for. None of their bloody business. None of their business. And they shouldn't be allowed to announce. They shouldn't be allowed to tell you, you know, when in the advance, they shouldn't be able to tell you what was voted for in the advance polls either. Because that can sway people's votes, right? So, all right. Go. Nice, nice, nice. All right, now, I have 3 of these lids in here. Oh no, I have 4. Okay, so I don't have the trays. I wish I hadn't done this. One, two, three. Boom. Oh, nope. That didn't work very well. Well, you know what? I'm just going to throw these guys in here like this. Because these lids are so thin. All right, now. You are going to go right over here under this light. That one's broken. I'll put it on the inside. Alrighty. Let's see. And this is going to be for these. I'm going to pull you back, guys, back just a little bit. Oh! For God's sake. Since you've all seen what I've done. Oh! Oh! Boy, here we go. Ouch. stabby. Yeah, this lid was broken, so I've got it inside the other one. I used to love celery and peanut butter when I was a kid. And you know what else is good? Spreading peanut butter on a lettuce leaf and rolling it up and eating it like that. That's really good too. Okay, now let's see if that won't work, will it? I'm gonna moisten this up a bit first and let that soak in a bit. Now I'm just going to take this and kind of loosen these up a bit so that I can pull them out without damaging the roots too much. I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you, something about spring brings life back to you. You know what I mean? It's all about new life, spring is. Oops. Almost broke you. Go. Loosen these up just a little bit. Do I ever grow winter squash at all? Not very often. I've thought about it this year because I still have lots of canned zucchini. But my garden is so small, or my gardening area is so small, that growing winter squash and zucchini, they'll cross-pollinate. Bees don't care, but they can't tell between a winter squash and a summer squash. We'll see. We will see. I might do one bed of I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? What was the question, Jean? I missed it. Well, Sherry, zucchini, I grate it and I can it. And when I put it in stew or spaghetti sauce or soup, nobody even knows it's there, but it's loaded with vitamins, minerals, and fiber. It's zucchini for me is the invisible vegetable because I make it so that nobody notices it's there. Except when I have fresh zucchini and it's summertime and I got a lot of them coming in, I like to stir fry them with some peppers and onions and mushrooms and Okay. Okay. If I grow any winter squash, what would I grow? I would grow buttercup. Buttercup or butternut. Buttercup looks like a green, kind of a green pumpkin with a cap on it, a gray cap on it. And then of course, you know, butternut's pretty famous. But buttercup's one of my favorites. And I love hollowing that out, taking the seeds out, and throwing in some brown sugar and some butter and some salt and pepper and bake it. Oh, I might have to grow some winter squash this year. But I have so much canned pumpkin in my pantry, and I don't bake a lot, you know? But maybe I'll bake something this week. I don't have any nuts or anything, but maybe I can make some pumpkin bread. You know what I mean? Something different. Howie doesn't like raisins, or I'd put raisins in it. Come on, baby. Hang on. There we go. Can you believe I went yesterday to look around and he said there was a tariff charge? I'm like, what? That's not even in the works yet. How many other people did they screw? Slap? Oh, honey, I'm telling you, they've got, I swear, they're gouging people, stores and companies are gouging people just because of the way. There's a lot of companies, American and Canadian, that are gouging people simply because they think they can get away with it. And it's not right. It's not right. And so the more people become more self-sufficient than ever, the better. Right? Plant more if you can. There we go. There we go. I don't care if it's American or Canadian. If I find a sale, I buy it and I stock up. I don't want to be the 51st state. I don't. But I want us to act like the cousins, you know, that we are with our American counterparts, you know? According to his teacher at school, Grammy cooks and cleans and Grampy plays. If you want to sneak in healthy nutritional foods, dehydrate some spring dandelion greens or nettles and look up I know, I put those in my green juices. I don't necessarily put them in food. I do that with kale. If I grow kale, I may grow some this year. We will see. Here we go. Anyway, folks, oh my goodness. This is probably, I'll show you when I'm done here. I'll show you how the tomatoes are doing since they've been transplanted into pots or cups or cans or whatever I've put them in. I'll show you because they're doing really great. All righty, come here, you. I'm trying to get the biggest ones here. Okay. Oh, it's so easy. you just take a pen and heat it up. And I save this lid and I recycle the bottle. The only pop Howie drinks is Dr. Pepper and ginger ale. I sometimes drink ginger ale. I will water it down. Like when Rebecca sent us those groceries, there was 6 mini cans of Canada Dry ginger ale in there. I like Canada Dry and I like Schweppes Dark because it has more flavor. But one of those cans, I have a big water, like a 1 liter water thing that I drink at night. And I'll just, pour in a half a mini can of ginger ale, and then it's 3/4 water, and it gives flavor to the water. It lets me feel like I'm having a treat, which of course I am, if you think about it. But it gets rid of a lot of the fizz, which my stomach cannot handle. Punch you down in there too. Well, I got dirt all over the top of my tea. Oh well. They say you eat a bucket of dirt before you die. Okay. Dokey. And whatever I can't fit in here, I'm just going to finish up. I'll put some more soil in this tray and straighten them up a little bit and water them and give them a chance. Everything gets a chance. Oh, there's 2 in there. Oh, well. I have a watering can for outside that I fill from the rain barrel because I put my tomatoes outside. Now, if you didn't hear me the other day when I was transplanting the tomatoes and when I was transplanting the tomatoes, if you didn't hear me, last year I ground up my eggs. I toasted and ground up my eggshells and my Epsom salts, and then I added a tablespoon of vinegar to a gallon, and I boiled it to get all the minerals out of the shells, and then I used that to water my plants when I planted them. Now listen, it didn't do as well as I'd hoped. Why? Okay, here's why, okay? When I toast the shells and I grind them with Epsom salts and I put them dry into the hole, a tablespoon or a teaspoon, dry into the hole of the, where I'm going to plant the tomato, you mix that tablespoon of toasted, dried, and ground Epsom salts. You mix a spoon of it into the hole where you're going to plant your tomato, and you mix it right into the dirt. Then you put your tomato on it, and you water it. Or you put your tomato on it, you fill your hole in, or you water it and you fill your hole in. Now listen. If you water it with the Epsom salts and let me get a straight brain here. Get my brain straight here. If you put it dry in the hole, every time it rains, every time you water it, it's getting a little bit of the minerals and vitamins from the Epsom salts and eggshells that you put in the hole. Okay? If you just boil them with a tiny bit of vinegar and then you use it to water your plants, you're only giving it nutrients that time. when you put the dry in the hole, every time it waters, it soaks those shells in Epsom salts, and more goes up into the plant on a regular basis. It's an ongoing feeding. Whereas if you just boil the stuff and water it when you plant it, you're not going to you're only giving it the nutrients once. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Come here, baby, get in there. Get in there. Make sure those roots are buried. Oh, I'm almost done here, and then I'll show you how our tomatoes and our peppers are doing. There we go. And I have to start some medicinal seeds. But not on camera here today. There we go. Oh my goodness, you little baby. Now again, these look a little rough because they've been manhandled. But I'll come back in a couple of days and I'll show you how well they do. Oh, I could have done that all along. Dopey me. Go just in there. In there. In there. In there. You in there. There you go. All right. I think I got room for a couple more. Now remember, these are just being spread out and transplanted so that they can be planted in the garden later on. Yes. Yes, Mountainside Homestead, yes. Okay, now this, oh, it's gonna go way back over underneath. Oh. Over there. And let's just tidy these up, shall we? Everybody gets a chance. Look at that. There's a celery in there already. Must have fallen down in the bag. Alrighty, now. You watch. Everybody gets a chance. Okay, let's do this. Anything that's showing, I'm just going to leave it right where it is. Oop, look, see? Pop. Pop. You might be tempted to throw out these babies, but you give them a chance. Whoever said you had too much food in your house? Okay? Okay. Oh, look, there's a whole clump there. Hey, Freaky Geek! I only glance at the chat every once in a while. I hope you guys are keeping each other company. Company. That's what I say whenever someone shows up, family or somebody shows up for a visit, which is rare because, you know, our social skills as families and friends got broken between 2019 or 2020 and 2024. Come get your duds in order, cause we're heading across the water. Heave away, the jolly boys. Oh, oops. Oh, there's a little one. All right. Okay. There we go. Give everybody. All right. Oh, I'm going to have to get some more water. I'll do that in a minute, but I want to show you how our tomatoes and that are doing. Oh. Oof. Oh. Wow. My knees. Oof. Oh. All right. So here is all the celery we just transplanted. The leeks, we'll see. Someone said they look dead. It's because these lights are pink, folks. Okay, but look, here's our tomatoes. Look, and our peppers. Aren't they doing well? So I'm going to go fill my jug with water, and I'm going to organize my lights. Now I'm going to wash my hands and sit down with a cup of tea and do some sewing. Not on a live stream. That might be tomorrow. All right? Take care. God bless. And thanks for keeping me company while I worked with celery today. Mwah! Take care. I love you guys. Never forget that. Poke, poke.